Guess what time it is? Time for lunch. Lunch with the Clydesdale. What's going on, everybody? It's a Friday. Weekend is here. So pumped. Thank you so much to everybody who is here. We got Ryan. We got Trained Olive. We got Cool. We got Jody. We got Kenneth, Bubba, Craig Pasley. What's going on? Ryan Tate joining the channel. Thank you so much. That is awesome. We appreciate that so much. Amanda, you're here. Awesome. Lido already here, a member for a month. Can you believe that? So cool. I wanted to thank everybody who's joined the channel so much. It used to be that StreamYard used to keep all the new members like in a little column that you could pull up, even if they joined when you weren't live, and they stopped doing that for some reason. So I pulled up a report, and I want to thank these people who over the last 2 weeks have become members. And that is Ryan Tate, Judy Reed, Amy Hill, Shanna Bunce, Craig Pasley, Howie, Marcy Spurlock, Dan Church, Linda, and I lost it here. Okay, Kevin Budd, Vicky, Terry, Dense Updates, Jenny, you're the best, George Wang, Meredith Jones, Lido, Larry Young, Jen, Kenneth DeLapp, Denise Moore, Jay Birch has been here forever, Leah Nichols, Sue Griffiths, Holly, Corey Leonard, and the Pit Teen Throwdowns. You guys are the best. I'm so happy that you could hang with us, and that you're become members. And what that gets you is, as we are up at the games next week, we'll be doing short vignettes from there with enhanced coverage. We're going to release those to members only first for 24 hours. Then after the 24 hours, it will be released for everybody else. So members get a little sneak peek into the vignettes that we'll be releasing next week. And I'm excited for you guys. I have some ideas in my head already of some things I want to do. I want to be different. I don't want to be the same. So I have some ideas. I hope they come off well, and we'll get those out to you as soon as we can next week. Just to give you a clear picture of what we have going on, we have myself and Ishmael, my photographer, videographer, who's been partnering with us for the entire year. He's been at all the events. He's the one that we collab with our Instagram posts all the time. And I'm super stoked for him and I to both have enhanced access. That means we'll have 2 cameras backstage doing everything we can. We'll be covering Hattie Canyo, embedded with her 24/7. We're going to put out a documentary of that. And then we're going to be working on short vignettes. We'll be doing some reels. We'll be doing some photos. And all those reels and photos will be out on the Instagram. The other stuff will be coming on the YouTube channel. And I hope you guys enjoy all the content we decide we can figure out and do. But I'm super pumped about that. We also are working with Jose, who is working with Hattie. So he'll be a part of all this as well. Super stoked for all of this, guys. Or, as I should say, super jazzed. Jazzed. Because we all get jazzed around here. The other thing I'm jazzed about is CrossFit contacted me last night. They've given me 2 tickets to give away on today's show. So we'll be giving away 2 lower bowl tickets to the CrossFit Games. And the way we're going to give those out is I'm going to throw a dart. And whatever number that lands on, the first person to put that number in the chat will win the tickets. So I'll do that about midway through the show so we can kind of get as many people as we can into the chat. But I'll throw a dart at the dartboard. If you're the first person to put the number that I land on, you will get 2 lower bowl tickets to the CrossFit Games. No nosebleeds for my people. No nosebleeds. We got lower bowl seats, baby, right here. Clydesdale Media. Only the best for my people. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Ken predicts wall. That's probably the safest bet. Probably the safest bet. So, and yeah, if you're not going to the games or you don't need the tickets, there are people in this chat that do. So if you want to be a kind friend, give them a better shot. If you don't, and you want to be mean and cruel, I get it. That's the way the world works these days. So, the last couple of days, we have started off with somber news of people from my childhood passing away. Ozzy Osbourne on Wednesday, Hulk Hogan on Thursday. And we actually have some sad news today. And it's not about anybody dying, though. But I don't know if you guys saw this. It was breaking news today. And that is that Chuck E. Cheese got arrested in Florida. And I don't know if you can see that the cops got them all cuffed. What a sad situation. The kids in the back here, they've blurred out the faces, but they're really crying and distraught because there goes their hero in handcuffs out the door of the Chuck E. Cheese. Can you believe this? That they didn't even let him take his head off. They didn't even let him take his head off, and they're busting him and taking him out the Chuck E. Cheese. Jody, that is Chuck E. Cheese. It's Chuck E. Cheese. So I did see Chuck Mangione died, but Jay Birch, I will say that in my 80s childhood, I did not listen to a ton of Chuck Mangione. So it didn't affect me like the other two. I listened to Ozzy. I watched wrestling all the time. Chuck Mangione was just kind of a meh. So yeah, Chuck E. Cheese arrested in Florida. There are pictures of him where they get him to the car and they do let him take his head off. Oh gosh, there we go. I missed that one. I did see it. I forgot to. Theo Huxtable died from my childhood. Yeah, Malcolm Jamal Warner. Crazy. So that's 3, right? Hopefully that means it's all done. Malcolm Jamal Warner, Ozzy Osbourne, Hulk Hogan. Ryan says the best part is when they unmasked him outside. It was Ronald McDonald. He was quoted as saying, "I would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for those pesky kids." That is awesome. That is awesome. Thank you for that. All right. So since the time we talked yesterday, we have a new event released. And that is individual event 8. So there we go. And it is an up and down chipper, which seems to be a lot of this year. We've got 50 or 40 calories on the Echo Bike, 100-foot yoke carry, 30 deficit handstand push-ups, 100-foot yoke carry, and then 50 to 40 calories on the Echo Bike. I really do like this workout. I kind of wish, and this is just from a spectator's point of view, it would have been the yoke carry first, the bike second, and then the handstand push-ups back. And that is because you get that finish with the yoke carry moving down the floor. It's much easier to see than the finish on a bike. So that's the only thing that I wish we had, because this is a Sunday event, most likely with event 8. And I want to see the best finishes on Sunday. So, and I think a couple years ago they did a yoke carry, but it wasn't last. It was a bike to finish too, when Tim Paulson went nuts on the bike at the end. And it was a yoke carry to that bike. I thought if they ended it with the yoke carry, it would have been a much better event, because then you can see them racing to the finish with that yoke, and you can see who wins the event instead of trying to not being able to see a monitor. Ryan Aldrich says, will they have to run to the finish line after the bike? Maybe, but usually it's not, because you don't put the bike in the space of the yoke carry. So it's not going to be a long run. It's going to be just a couple steps. That's my only worry. I really like the yoke as a finisher, and I don't think we've ever had that before. Because it's a finish, but it's kind of a slow finish, because you can't just sprint with it. You gotta move it, but it gives you a nice visual of crossing the finish line. Says, agree with that. Stationary bike finishes are boring. Yeah, I mean, with the exception of like when Tim Paulson went and you could see him going ham on the bike and the crowd went nuts in the arena. I don't know what it felt like to watch it on TV. But I just think it would have been cooler, like watching the yokes kind of mishmash on the way down. That's all. So, but that's just being nitpicky. Tia won an event at the end. I was thinking there, as I said that, I thought maybe there's that one where Pat dropped his weight and it rolled. That one may have finished with a yoke. But I don't know. Judy Reed has her whole family in the chat. She does. Family that watches Clydesdale together, rides together. The event in Madison was, that's when Tia broke the event. Yes. Where she almost finished in one round. Yes. I told Maddie to get on to enter a number. There you go. They're not competitive. Strongman Sphere had yokes for some, right? I'm sure, but I think the handstand walk had to be the finish of that. If you remember, Brent Fikowski almost finished and then fell on the handstand walk. I don't know. Maybe you're right, because then Matt Frazier went off the edge of the park. I don't know. Yeah. I'll have to look that up. So, okay. So we have that. They also did a video from behind the scenes of that. What I loved about that is this event did not even start remotely close to what it ended up being. This is where the crossovers originally landed, and they took those out for the Echo bike, I think. The deficit handstand push-ups are going to be, man, right smack in the middle. 30 serious deficit handstand push-ups are going to stop some people in their tracks. So that's going to be interesting. I think the yoke carry, it looked heavy, but it's not going to stop anybody. The bike, of course, won't stop anybody. That handstand push-up, and if it's as deficit as they showed Ben doing in the video, that's going to be a rough one. What is your prediction for who will be the fittest on earth in the CrossFit Games? Who's your pick to win? So we are doing that show on Sunday night. Jamie, Carolyn, and I will be picking the men. Jamie and I only will be picking the women, and we'll give you our top 10. We're not going to go through like all 30 and make it like an all-night show of that. We're just going to give you our top 10 and maybe a couple dark horses that may jump into the top 10. But Jamie, myself, and Carolyn will give you our picks on Sunday night. So I'm saving it for that little tease to come watch that show. And then, of course, because Carolyn is competing, we're giving her an out on that so she doesn't have to list her competitors in order before going up against them. So we're letting her off the hook. But I will tell you guys, like, I've looked at my Heat One app, I've looked at the men's side, and I have no freaking clue how that's even going to end up. I'm going to have to do a little bit of research this weekend, look at the events, and then determine what order to put them in, because it's going to be tight. It's going to be so tight. Yeah, the strongman sphere was different elements, and you could it was choose your own adventure, what you wanted to move first, but everything had to be followed by a handstand walk. And maybe it's or started with a handstand walk. I actually volunteered and was working that event. It was a highlight of my volunteer career. I was the yoke mover, so when the event was over, I had to go down, grab the yoke, and bring it back up to reset it. And in front of all those people, they were cheering us on as volunteers. It was the coolest experience of my volunteer career, getting to do that. I felt like an athlete for 30 seconds every couple minutes. The craziest thing is, though, the lane I had Fikowski in one lane where I had to get on my tiptoes to get the yoke down the field. And then on the next run, it was the women, and I had Danny Horan, and I had to get on my knees to get under the yoke, which was insane. And then to try to lift that thing up from the ground was impossible. Yeah, I thought it was handstand walk followed each implement, so it ended on a handstand walk. That's why I thought it was weird, but I can't imagine the handstand walk making Frazier fall off the end. I don't know. I'll have to go back and watch it. I'll go back and watch it tonight. We'll talk about it next week. Besides it being in Albany, I'm super jealous to be missing this one live. This would have been epic in Madison. This is a perfect outdoor event. Perfect outdoor event. But if you want to go see it live, we're giving away tickets in a few short minutes. What will be the oddest movement in this classic CrossFit Games? My dream is that they do something with the snail. They had a snail inside Fort Worth last year for the teams, so it's doable. Will they bring it out for the individuals? I love the snail. There's nothing cooler than like this thing, this object you have to move down the floor and you can gain no momentum on. It's all out power push. I love it. It's one of my favorite things of all time. So that's what I'm hoping for. Well, let's go ahead and give away the tickets. I'm going to go ahead and throw the dart. I'm going to aim for the bullseye. I'm going to aim. So if I hit a bullseye, I'll have to go again. But I'm going to aim for the bullseye, and then whatever number it lands in, whoever enters that number first will win 2 lower bowl tickets to the CrossFit Games. Are you ready? So on a dartboard, if you're not familiar, numbers 1 through 20. Numbers 1 through 20. So go ahead and start entering your numbers now. And I will throw my dart, and then I will announce what the number is. Okay, it's right on the line. So let me get my camera so I can. And the number is, well, have I seen it yet? I do not see the number as of yet. Still, the number has not been entered. Still not entered. Come on, guys. Oh, I got it. And we have a winner. The number was, if you can, whoop. I don't know if you can see that. The number is 13. The winner is Madison Reed. Madison Reed has just won 2 lower bowl tickets to the CrossFit Games. That's awesome. Yeah, you win, Madison. So what I need for you is to, and your mom actually has my number. I need, if you guys have a Ticketmaster account, I need the email of your Ticketmaster account. And if it's different than an email or contact information, for you to add that you actually check all the time, I need that as well. So just send me your, through either text or through DM, send me your Ticketmaster account email, and I'll get that over to CrossFit, and they'll send you your tickets as soon as possible. So there we go. Congratulations, Reed family. And Judy handing it off to David to figure out all this stuff. Thanks. We'll be in touch. Awesome. And Madison is crying. There you go. Awesome. I don't know where the seats are in that lower bowl, but they are lower bowl. You're not going to have the nosebleed. They're going to be awesome. And so thank you to CrossFit for allowing me to give those away. And that's awesome. So cool. And the family's a member of the channel, which makes me even happier. So super stoked, super jazzed. We are jazzed. Awesome. So, all right. Now let's get back into some other things. One thing, I didn't get a chance to watch it. But Brent Fikowski was on with Shut Up and Scribble, and he was releasing his movement standard database, which I have been anxious to see. I hope it is really good. I think it's something that will help grow the sport of CrossFit, and I'm anxious to watch all that. There's just been so much content in the last 2 days to get through everything, but I'm going to look at that this weekend. And I'm really excited to see that. The other thing I wanted to talk about is yesterday I was on here talking about like how, and Hiller actually clipped it. Hiller's clipping a lot of my stuff lately, which is wild to me, just wild, is that the WFP, what they're really bad at is timing. They suck at timing. They have had this big window of opportunity to promote their event and have done nothing about it to do that. So what I want to do today is be positive. I want to be positive because, you know, I review the road to the games, and on a micro level, I may be critical of the lack of storytelling in one of them, or give it a D or a C or a B, whatever that is, right? However, if you look at it from a macro level, CrossFit has done so much this year that we have been begging for them to do. And I'm going to list some things out of how they have changed this season compared to last season, right? And the first thing is the overhaul on their Instagram. So let's look at that. Look at this. They actually have like pinned things at the top of their Instagram page that make sense. There's new fonts. It's more modern. It's got that dark with the spotlight on. I think this is what the lighting for WFP wanted to do with the lifting and didn't do it, but they do it for James and Tia here on this post. And if you go down through, like, everything has this new modern look. There's the schedule. Look at that. It's striking. It's not bland and boring like it used to be. It actually makes sense. It's easy to read. So whoever is doing this is awesome. They've also added classic moments in CrossFit Games history as we lead up to this year's CrossFit Games, which is really cool. It's actually making strides in the right direction. The other thing they're doing is they're aligning with all of their other processes, right? So there's that. And I know there are people that may not like that font, but it's an attempt at something new. At least they're doing something new, trying something new. Jody Lynn, they're copying you, Scott, with those fonts. I know you can. So this is called New Rocker font, and I'm doing that because Ozzy died this week. In addition to that, these are things that are happening. Leading up to the games, we get a return to the game or road to the games every week. Today we're getting Tia versus the world. And whether you like them or not, they're getting traction, they're getting views, and we are seeing something promoting the games as we're leading up to the games. This year, we're also trying an early release of workouts. Right now, we have 4 workouts released before the games, creating hype and talk about those events, creating excitement for those events coming. And on top of that, they're doing behind-the-scenes documentaries of 3 of the 4, where you can see where the event started and where it's finished. And actually, I take that back. There's 5 events out. 5 events out, and we've got documentaries on 3 of the 5 on how they developed, how they were created, the testing behind the scenes, and all of that is creating excitement as to for what's coming at the CrossFit Games. They sent out an email to all athletes about the outdoor safety and things that they should consider while they're outdoors. This has never been done in the past. It was done this year. This is a major change, and they should be given credit for that. They also sent out an overall safety memo from the Safety Council to all the athletes and how they're dealing with that, how you can contact people if you feel like something needs changed or you want to give some kind of comment to whatever's going on. You have the opportunity to do that as well. In addition to that, you have partnerships going on this year at the CrossFit Games, and they're promoting that. And I'm trying to find that post. But what we have going on is we have the Ruck Race League is doing a community ruck on Saturday morning at 5:30 a.m. Later that day, Travis Bajan is arm wrestling fans for prizes. There's rumor of a beat Bajan happening sometime during the games. There is the partnership with the Army Warrior Fitness Club. They're giving away prizes. And there's another one. Oh, no. And there's another one too that we haven't seen, but it's a lot of things to get the community involved. There's community workouts with Mayhem. So there's that as well going on right there, partnering with the CrossFit Games, and all of that to like create excitement and community involvement. And it's all being promoted prior to the games, which never happened in the past. So while we can be critical about each individual thing and be overly critical about that, if you look at the whole, they're making significant changes, significant progress to bring more new and different things to the CrossFit space. And we should commend them for that. Now, what prompted that? Was it Lazar's death? Was it WFP competing? Was it all this Medfix stuff? Who knows? But something has forced CrossFit to make some changes and try some new things. And that's really what we've been begging for years. Let's try some new stuff. And that makes me even more jazzed for this year's CrossFit Games, to see what they're doing on site, to see what they're doing to involve the community. I hear they're shutting down the street outside the arena to offer more stuff like this. I can't wait to see what all that is. Hiller and JR are coaching classes at CrossFit Albany. That's awesome. I don't think that's partnered with CrossFit, but those things happen a lot at different sites of the CrossFit Games, and they should be promoted. And I hope that CrossFit will grab some of this stuff and promote the opportunities for those to happen. So, it's partnered with Wodify. So yeah, but check those opportunities out. If you're in Albany, gyms always have guest coaches come in, which is incredible. But I'm excited about like Travis Bajan, see who takes on the champ in arm wrestling. I think it's going to be a fun time. And then the partnership with Heat One, that's massive. That's one I forgot. Partnering with Heat One. I said this on this show earlier in the week. Anytime that there is the ability to play fantasy sports or to bet on a sport, there's an increase in viewership. Because when you place those bets or when you make your teams, you're watching the sport to see if your picks are correct. It makes people more invested in the outcome of what's happening. So partnering with Heat One and then supporting each other forward in that direction, so that both Heat One and you can grow simultaneously into something bigger and better. I've talked about the partnering with DAZN instead of ESPN, a much smaller streaming service, not a cable company, a streaming service, an app where you can grow. They're in 150 countries around the world. They're going to give multiple languages as an option without having to go to a website and then have no rewind function and no chat. But they're also giving those people who love YouTube the opportunity to watch there as well. So much going on. So much. And to partner with like DAZN, which is much smaller, they are so much more invested in the success of what happens with CrossFit than ESPN was. With ESPN, it was just a filler. It was, and CrossFit probably paid for that space. With DAZN, I'm assuming it's probably more of a partnership, and they're trying to grow together. DAZN needs content to fill their app, and ESPN needed a place to land, or not ESPN, the CrossFit Games needed a place to land, that it benefited both parties, and they would push and advertise for each other moving forward. That is big. So for years, we've gotten down on CrossFit and what they're doing and what they're not doing and all of these things. And this year, they have made significant strides in the right direction to correct some of the wrongs. Now, let's hope that the sale of CrossFit doesn't throw all this in the trash and we have to start all over again. Hopefully, this is a building block that we're allowed to build on instead of just build and throw away like we've done in the past. And I know it's not perfect. And I know Matt Souza's been in here talking about the regular CrossFit site, not the CrossFit Games site. And yeah, the CrossFit site needs help. The regular CrossFit site needs help. The regular CrossFit Instagram needs help. And we need to get back to telling the stories of those individuals walking into an affiliate. So CrossFit IG page is dead. I don't disagree. They need to take some, and I saw what you said, let Hiller run it. That makes sense. But so that means it probably won't happen. Souza would pay Hiller to run it for a month or two and pump some life into it. That would be too smart. They're scared to have a voice. They won't admit they need help from the outside, especially not with Hiller. I'll tell you what, like, it's just been recently that I've had the opportunity to talk directly with people at CrossFit over the last week. It's an experience that I have not had in the past. So maybe there is a direction change with this. And again, I feel like we're heading in the right direction. And so hopefully after the games, they switch focus to the CrossFit main site, the CrossFit main Instagram page. Because if they just try some new stuff like they did on the games page, whether you personally like it or not, at least it's new and different. And they're making an effort. They need to go back to being leaders in health and fitness unapologetically. I agree. And it's much better than before. There is progress, so that's a plus. I just don't want the progress to stop. You sell the company and we get new people in and all of a sudden we're back at square one. That sucks. I don't think we can afford to go back to square one. So what if Malik cleans house and has Hiller, Souza, Woolley run a lot of and keep Dave, of course? I'm not sure that's the three you want in the same room. I don't know. I used to watch this old show called Sports Night, and it starred Robert Guillaume, and he was an executive of a sports channel. And he said to his staff one time that he learned long ago that if you're dumb, surround yourself with smart people. If you're smart, surround yourself with smart people who disagree with you. So while I like the concept of surrounding yourself with different ideas, those people have to be willing to have discussion and an open mind. And we need to make sure whatever those people are that you bring together have the open mind part that can actually have discussions and eventually come together unified and moving forward. Because if that doesn't happen, then it doesn't matter who you put in those seats. So I'm missing some things. So anyway, I know we dog CrossFit a lot, and I just wanted to give them props for the things that they've done this year, which has been a lot. Because I think when we're here day to day, we look at the micro version of everything, and we look at each individual thing, and we can be very critical of them. But when you look at the macro of what's happened over the last few months in the CrossFit Games, I think we're heading in the right direction. It's not perfect, probably never will be, but we're moving in a direction that makes sense. And I like that. I just hope we can keep there. Yeah. Matt is dead on. It cannot be a private equity firm. We need a slow cooker owner, not a microwave owner. And you have to see the long-term goals and be willing to stick to that path for the long term. He's dead on with that. And that's a lot of companies. That's not just CrossFit. A lot of people make that mistake. They want the quick return, and sometimes it takes a little bit longer to get to get what you need. So I'm going to finish with this, and this is not CrossFit related. Last night I started watching the Billy Joel documentary. I'm old, and I will admit that. But when I first started recollecting vinyl, I was looking for every Billy Joel album I could find. And I found them all at record stores, all of them but one. And they just re-released the one I don't have. So I'm going to be able to get that and complete the set. But HBO does it, and they're so good at documentaries. And it's been really fun to watch. It's 2.5 hours for episode 1. And there's a second one coming tonight, I believe. But I really, really enjoy it. But what's crazy to me is here's a guy, Billy Joel, who signed a contract with a record company at a very young age and gave up everything, publishing rights, royalties, and he was stuck in that contract for 10 years. That was 1971. He put out like 8 albums from 71 to 81, knowing that he'd given up all the royalties and all of the publishing rights to all of that music that came out from 71 to 81. And he still gave his best effort and wrote some of his best music during that time. Sometimes it's not about the money. Sometimes it's about the love of the game. And what would you do in that situation? Would you press on to put forth your best effort to create the best product, even though you know that your money's going to somebody else? I think that's a good question to ask ourselves. So, CK Kevin says, and married Christy Brinkley. He didn't do that till the 80s. And his first wife is a smoke show. And what I am excited to see is why he left the first smoke show to go with the second smoke show, because we're not to that point yet in the documentary. And his first wife is actually his agent and manager, and she is tough as nails. And she didn't let people get away with anything after they got screwed that first time. And the song "She's Always a Woman to Me" is about just that his wife was protecting him and doing all those things. And all the songs he wrote about her in the 70s were fantastic. And he was so in love with her. What the hell happened that he leaves her? And then he ends up with Christy Brinkley, of course, but my God, and his wife, that first wife, is in this documentary a lot, and she's talking now, and she is still a smoke show. Still. So, but it's such a fascinating documentary because it just made me think, man, if you took away all my money and screwed me over from that, would I still be willing to put forth my best effort with everything I wrote, knowing that my money went to somebody else? JBMMTL, if you work for any company that doesn't properly remunerate you, that's exactly what you're doing. I know I'm probably doing it right now. Well, guys, I got to get back to work. I'm sure you guys have to get back to work too. So where's the documentary? It's on HBO Max. I guess just Max now, whatever they're calling themselves. I think they changed their name another time. But anyway, with that, Ken Walters says Chase and Bill on Chapman's Base Show in 30 minutes. That's cool. And we got a new member, Ryan Aldrich, join the membership as well. Thank you so much, Ryan. That is awesome. I appreciate it so much. With that, guys, make sure you like and subscribe. That helps so much on the algorithm. And I can't wait to see any of you at the CrossFit Games. Remember, we got new stickers made. Come see me, say hi. They're free of charge. I'll hand those out. And I'm having t-shirts designed with a Get Jazzed logo on it. And as soon as we get those out, we'll do some t-shirts. With that, can't wait to see everybody next week. Have a great weekend. And you knuckleheads get back to work because I got to. We'll see everybody next time. Lunch with the Clydesdale. Bye, guys.